What's up, guys? This is Justin Publon, Wisconsin WX.com meteorologist. I'm here. I'm sick. I sound like the Macho Man, Randy Savage, whoever that guy was. Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about some snow today. I feel good. I could feel a lot worse, but I could feel better. So we'll just take it with what it is, you know? Let's talk about our forecast. We're going to talk about the major storm that's coming in Tuesday night through Wednesday for Wisconsin. It's starting earlier elsewhere, but we're mainly focusing on Wisconsin today. Right now I'm keeping it in that heavy snow. This is the main narrative, right? Major Thanksgiving storm Tuesday night, Wednesday. Strong winds. This is the narrative. This is the generalization graphic that we come up with. So this just gets everybody on the same page, okay? Let's go through some of the things here we got going on. Actually, first, before I go into that model, this is the warning map. These light blue colors. That's winter storm warning. Winter storm watch for this area. So they're just kind of showing you where that band of heavy snow is probably going to be located. If you look at Wisconsin, you cut the state in half. That southeast portion, that southeast half, is not filled with anything. So note that. As we go to this model, which I don't really care to show you. First of all, so I thought maybe I'd start with the windy.com, the wind gust map, and go into the snow at the end. The wind forecast, it is important. There's going to be strong wind gusts across the region. Wisconsin's a little bit of an interesting case because the low center itself is actually moving straight through the state. And when you're right there at that low pressure center, it doesn't always get that windy. At least not the entire time. You may have a very lull, a quiet period for some time. And then at the end, as the low center pushes away, the winds rush in, surge in behind it, and that's where you get your wind gusts. So I just want to make sure we're clear that it's not going to be windy the entire time for places like central Wisconsin. So, for example, like Watoma or Oshkosh, or even out towards Wisconsin Dells. So, but that comes later on Wednesday, probably. Wednesday is the wind day. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I can't stop. I may do that a couple more times. But let's just go back to actually the beginning of the storm. So this is closer to Tuesday night p.m., Tuesday p.m., around 7 p.m. And as we just finger through this, you'll see that the reds correspond to like 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts. That overspreads Wisconsin at first, but I'm not too worried about it because I think that low pressure moves in pretty quick and it just doesn't really get a chance to settle in terms of that wind pattern. And as the low pressure moves through the 986 millibar, right through Green Bay area, and then you see the the dark, I don't know if that's fuchsia, but that's like deep purple down in here. If you drop a pin, 52 mile per hour wind gust there in Illinois, and I'm sure if you take it around Indiana, you're going to see 50 mile per hour wind gust. And then off the lakes, across Lake Superior, on far northeast Lake Michigan, and these are the lakes I can't remember. And then if you take, let's see, we'll go one more step out. You'll see that you see this like weakness area. If I go back in here, keep note of that. That's where that weakness is. Like I said, if you drop a pin in there, 14 mile per hour wind gust. So not much of a story. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Complicated. You have to really pay attention to the details in the forecast. And then as that goes through, then your winds start to surge out of the north and west. And then you get your wind gusts there. That's a Wednesday night. And then it finally seems to move off by Thanksgiving. So that's the wind gust forecast. There's really nothing. If you go one step closer into Wisconsin, I did draw the line like out here for that 40 to 50. 550 there. And then I did the 30 to 40 here, kind of like that. And then I also had upper peninsula of Michigan in that 40 to 50. And I don't know, maybe upper Michigan will be more in that 35 to 45 range with just the highest gust near lake shoreline. But I just thought for consistency we would do that. Okay, you'll see that forecast a little bit. Let's go through the details here, the raw model output. This is from the 12Z model run, the NAM high-resolution model, which I'm starting with. I like the high-resolution model this time, but I think that the consensus might be a little bit different or maybe a little bit more complete. We'll talk about it. I can't find the right words for it right now. So this is 9 p.m. on Tuesday. You're seeing that. Let me zoom in just a little bit closer if I can. Oh man, that sucks. I don't like the way that zoomed in. Uh, right here, you see that here's kind of leading edge, and then you see like that. There's snow here, rain here, and the storm low pressure system's moving like this. That's at 9 p.m. on Tuesday. So really, at that point, nothing's really happening except for some scattered showers across southern Wisconsin. And then obviously, if I go back in time, you're going to see that that's even less. So it's moving in around 9, and then it's kind of over. What the heck happened there? It's over spreading the state overnight, and then by about 1 a.m., you're seeing the snow really start to come in to northwest portion of the Wisconsin. Don't need that because I got the thing on the wrong. Like this area here is where you're seeing that heavy snow developing overnight as the low pressure moves through. You're seeing like a wave. Now, the thing to note about this is that, well, we'll just go through it, but you'll see how this low pressure system here is moving through Green Bay, has a pretty pronounced dry slot with it. Oop, get a little ahead of myself there. You have to keep an eye on this because that tends to eat up things. You got to really pay attention to it. That's all I'm saying. And I think that's part of the thing that I'm watching with the forecast the most is because that could that could go up as far north as Wausau probably and cause issues with the snowfall forecast and other things. So it's one of the reasons that I'm pulling back on some of the rainfall amounts in southern Wisconsin. I'm really being careful about that. I'm also trying to be a little bit more careful about that southern fringe of the heaviest snow band because of that dry slot. And as you see, it takes your time. But there's heavy snow in there. It's going to be a heavy snow event there for northern Wisconsin for sure. And one interesting detail we'll have to figure out is they're right at the end. This is close to noon on Wednesday. The GFS, and I know the NAM to some degree, maybe even the European, does have a little bit of snow here working into northeast Wisconsin and kind of creates a little bulge southward. So it's one of those weird things where it's like, okay, at first a dry slot kicks through and nothing's happening, and then all snow comes at the end. So interesting things there. And we take it through time. This is noon on Wednesday, and it seems like for the most part it's cleared out. The snow seems to be coming to an end for most places. Up here, it's still going to be snowing in northern upper Michigan. You guys are going to get it for a while after that, and I'll just show you. I take it through the afternoon into the evening hours. Lake effect hangs around until it's done. And this is actually over 60. 59 and then 60 here. That's the end of the forecast range for the NAM high-res model. Okay. Oh, yeah. Now, this is the snowfall forecast from pivotalweather.com. This is the Kuchera method. Now, I will turn it to 10 to 1 snow ratio, so you can see European, but this is the one I choose to use. It's responsive to the temperature and other profiles. It makes the ratio, because the ratio is never solid. It fluctuates during the event. But also it has something to do with surface temperature. So if it's warmer, 32 or above at the surface, you're going to have really low snow ratios because that's going to be melting on contact. Whereas if temperatures are upper 20s, you might have a 12 to 1 or a 14 to 1. But there's other factors I won't go into. Now, if you look at that high-res model I just showed you, see over here, I've got it kind of highlighted. That you see, let me just go back. Okay, that it's about, there's a lot of 8s in here, a lot of 7s. So it's kind of on the upper end of that 4 to 8. But you also have the issue of some of these low spots that are down towards 4, 5, maybe 4 and 5. And you do have some high spots. I mean, this model went all the way up to 11 inches across this general area. Somewhere in here, I've seen that trend a lot. So I have it circled on our forecast. The reason I like 4 to 8 still is because I just don't feel comfortable yet going up any higher. It's sort of where we started, and I'm just trying to maintain some consistency that way. If I see that it's looking more full, the snow band is looking more full, as opposed to, because if you go back and look at some of these older runs that of the high-res NAM, especially the 060, the 12Z may have come more in line with the rest of the models. It did have more pockets of holes in here, so I just had to pay respect to that. While knowing that, okay, so it seems like about, across all the models, they're about 8 inches for a max. And then 4 to 8, I'm okay with that right now. Because Tuesday, we're going to update the forecast, and then that'll be a good time to decide if we want to do more or do less for snowfall accumulation. But yeah, that's the NAM. This is the low-res NAM. Now you see here, pay attention to this. Remember that dry slot kicking through here. that could cause an issue with the snowfall amounts in this area. So you just, it's tough. It's always tough. But pay respect to that. And then the GFS is usually does this. So if you compare the NAM to the GFS, NAM has that dry slot kicking through, and then the GFS, and maybe it's a little bit warmer too. A little bit warmer profile would create less snow, obviously. And then the GFS does kind of just smooths over that part of it, and it has higher snow totals further south. This is a common thing in the GFS. It always does this, and I tend to not listen to it when it's on that southern fringe of the main snow band. So I'm not really paying attention to the GFS there. Canadian, I could just show you. I don't know. I don't really make any decisions based on the Canadian model. I just tend to look at it in comparison to the rest of them, and it's generally showing that range. So that's main snow band is pretty solid across northwest Wisconsin Tuesday night and Wednesday. Rainfall amounts. This is liquid precipitation. So when you're seeing these pinks up here near Ashland at 1.8 inches, most of that's going to be snow. All of it's going to be snow. Okay. Where you draw that rain snow line is going to be somewhere in here probably, right? So this is all rainfall amounts. This is the GFS 12Z, I think. Yes, it is. I don't know if I buy this totally. I like the NAM. European is a little bit weaker here. So it's picking up on that dry slot that kicks through here. The GFS just kind of like, not going to really pay attention to that. NAM, yeah, see what I mean? Yeah. Now, the one place I think that you could have the higher amounts closer to an inch might actually be off in this range here, far eastern Wisconsin and Door County. This area too. So if the temperature profile is a little bit warmer near Lake Michigan, it might melt off that snow and it may fall as rain instead. And so those inch amounts could extend, inland to beyond the bay westward. So here's my rainfall forecast. Just threw it together this morning, and we'll take another look at it this afternoon. Showing about half inch to an inch is my forecast. They're for eastern Wisconsin. I saw some models bring that up to an inch further west towards Oshkosh. It is what it is. And then I wanted to stress it's like less than a half inch for the rest of southern Wisconsin, and then up here, obviously, that's all snow. This is my snowfall forecast right now. This might change if I feel like those tomorrow especially might change it. If I feel like those higher 8 to 9 to 10 inch amounts are more common across this region, I'll go there. But 4 to 8 with locally 8 inches plus. And the one area I'm watching is the Minneapolis area. That's why I have it in that target white outline zone. The other area that I think has a pretty good shot of maybe up to a foot of snow is up between Marquette, Ashland, Ironwood. This whole area up here, it's typically a hot zone for snow, or typically a good stone for snow. But yeah, and then the one area I pay attention to is over here where I trimmed it back because I think that temperature profile is going to tend to be too warm here for snow in this part of the state. So that's a tricky part. Oh man, this is a typo. I'll have to change this. This still says 0 to 4. That should say 0 to 1. Right in here. And the reason is because as that wraparound comes through on Wednesday, you could have some snow falling. I don't know if it's going to accumulate. I just don't think it's going to be a very high impact thing, anything to worry about. But it may be as far south as Madison seeing snowflakes, so you gotta pay attention to that, But yeah, the second last thing I'm going to end on is the travel hazard forecast here. This is something I'm just starting to do, but I wanted to note that if you're traveling on Wednesday morning, it looks like you're going to want to avoid this area if possible. This is really the worst of it, Wednesday morning. So what I would actually do is either go ahead of time or before time. It depends on where you're going to. But if you're traveling through that area, I would say either leave early, maybe like Tuesday morning, or go more towards the mid or late day hours on Wednesday across this region. Because, I just think that snow on the morning hours is going to be a tough deal there. So I would try to avoid that if you can. But here, you guys should be good for the most of it because you're going to get that dry slot that comes up through like that. You're going to get the wind that cuts across like this, and that's why I have this low amount, these lows here. Just because 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts, so maybe some 50 pluses in there, it blows the car around as you're driving. And on a busy highway, I just think that might be a little dangerous. So just pay attention to that. And then the other place was here on Door County, Sturgeon Bay area, because of the wind gust. Again, like I just mentioned, the blowing around in the car as you're driving it. Okay, well, I made it through. I haven't lost my voice yet, but I'm close. So all of this is laid out on our members forecast. Okay, so if you scroll through here, you can see here's all the maps, and here's my detailed discussion from this morning. I do mention that next update is this afternoon as I kind of look at the latest model run and then make adjustments and then I send everything off to Facebook. Go there if you want to get a head start, stay ahead of the storm, and be awesome. Become a member for $5 a month, and I'll take care of you guys real good on this page here. This is the member forecast. There's a million things we're working on. I'm at the point right now where I just feel a little bit of burnout. So it's like trying to force everything through all at once just doesn't work. So you have to take your time. You have to do one thing at a time, and progressively get there. Keep your head down and just keep working. That's what I keep saying. So that's what I'm trying to do. When there's storms, major storms all over the place, you get nothing done except for the forecast, which is great. And ideally, in the end, just forecasting weather day in and day out is the goal. But we have a lot of work to do to get there. Oh, one more thing. This is like a bonus round. Okay, this is like extra time at the end of the wrestling match. I want to turn to the GFS here, and I'm just going to go through this live with you because I haven't really looked at this yet either. I like to use weather.cod.edu for my overall view of the whole 7-day kind of picture because I've always used it and I like it, like the way it works. Showing that low pressure system moving through there. By Wednesday, it's done, moving out, but just tight pressure gradient there with the wind. And then as we go into the weekend again, we're looking west at another system. I want to take a closer look at this, and I'm going to take a look at the analogs because that storm track as it comes out of the southwest, like this, typically doesn't go this way. It typically just keeps going off like that. But the models want to bend it back down, kind of forcing. There's like a forcing here that's going like this, and then that makes it go more easterly. That's a rare thing. I don't usually see that. So when you play it through, you see how that works. See that low pressure system that's sort of meandering east and then bending back down. That's very rare. However, and in addition, this could be another big storm. Actually, I expect it to be another major storm. The time duration on it from Friday night into Sunday, early Sunday, it's kind of a long time frame for that snow to fall. So I'm just going to be careful about how I go into this. Also, again, when things look weird, I stop for a second and I look at it because if it's, sometimes the models get these crazy ideas and they don't work out. But again, because I haven't looked at the full picture for that part of the forecast, I will. But when I do, I'm sure I'm going to find that there's some sort of blocking going on here, forcing it back down. Okay, guys, that's what I got for you. Thanks for tuning in. Head over to our website and become a member. It'd be awesome to have your support. We just have enough members now to cover all the costs of running the website. Now we're starting to get to the point where I can make a living off of this, and it's very exciting. So thank you very much. Thank you for everybody who's already signed up. I really appreciate it. It goes to good use, and you see out here, I'm always out here working, trying to do something new, the next best thing, So thank you. Talk to you guys later. Hopefully next time you hear from me, I have my voice back.